Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking at the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds, who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalil, and this video is on the slavery that's coming for the heathen, especially for the nation of Edom, who are the so-called white people. And it is at this present time that the nation of Edom, who are the Edomites, whose forefather is Esau, they are ruling, and they are the so-called white people. And this is their kingdom. This is the blessing that Yahweh Shemishai gave to Esau Edom, that one day they would rule the world, and that they would conquer by way of the sword. And we're living in it. This is their kingdom. This is their rulership. And they acquired it by way of bloodshed, genocide, and murder, by way of the sword and deception. As the scriptures say that the Edomites, they are the wicked. In the book of Malachi chapter 1, it says that they are the border of wickedness. So they have done wickedly, and they continue to do wickedly, and they will always do wickedly, because they are the nation of Edom. And Yahweh Shemishai created the spirits of the Edomites to be wicked. They cannot change their ways. It is who and what they are. They are simply built to be as such. And as such, they have done all of these things to the world and unto the Lord's holy chosen people, who are us, the Israelites. And their time for judgment is coming, as right now we are in fact at the end of the rulership of the Edomites. This is the final kingdom that we, the Israelites, have to suffer through before our Lord Yahushai returns to deliver us. And Yahushai will be delivering the elect of the nation of Israel. Not all of Israel will make it when Yahushai returns. So those of us that do believe, we are of the hopeful elect, hoping to be saved when Yahushai returns. So I have this video here, and I want to start in Job chapter 20 and verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Because the triumphing of the wicked is short, because Yahweh Shemishai is righteous. We're living through a period of time right now where the wicked are in rulership. But in Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17, it says that the Most High giveth the kingdom to whomsoever he will, even the basis of men. So this is all orchestrated by Yahweh Shemishai. But it's not permanent. It has always been temporary. Esau's blessing has always been for just a period of time, a little season, as it says in the book of Revelation chapter 20. So now as we are approaching the end of Esau's kingdom, with the prophecies at hand, such as the Mark of the Beast prophecy, which is a microchip, the World War III prophecy, the prophecy of Jacob's trouble, the prophecy of the famine, the pestilences, and really the chaos that will be coming to the world. And at the end of it will be the salvation of the Israelites, which are the elect of the nation of Israel, and the destruction of America, which is Mystery Babylon the Great. We're at that point in time now. So Esau, Edom, Your judgment is coming. And it appears that there's something where, because we're so close to the end and truth has been revealed, as it says in the book of Second Esdras, the truth shall be declared. They appear to be hearing what is the truth, and they're confounded of sorts by the lies told to them by their forefathers, which they are their forefathers because reincarnation is real, and by their current rulers, who are the wicked elite of Esau Edom that have perpetuated the deception and the lies. And for the Edomites to find out that, wow, what was taught to them and taught to the world isn't actually true, it is affecting some of them. So here it is, we have a so-called white man. He looks like a so-called white man, so I'll just take it point blank as his look. All right. And the so-called white people are the Edomites.
The more I think about this, the more I think about what we are experiencing in the United States right now, this is just the bill coming due. This is 400 years of karma catching up to us. I mean, this country was founded on 250 years of slavery. The foundations of this country were built by slaves, African slaves, kidnapped from Africa. And if you've ever seen the pictures, the drawings, the diagrams of the lower levels of slave ships and how they were transported to this country, and if they got sick, or if they died, or if they put up a fuss, they were just thrown overboard in the middle of the Atlantic. Cost of doing business. 250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow. This country was founded on the wholesale slaughter of First Nations populations, Native Americans, for 300 years. 80 million people. Stealing their land. I mean, when we were all taught the fucking fable of Christopher Columbus when we were in elementary school, he discovered America. He never set foot on the lower 48 states, what would become them, the continental United States. And, the more we learn about him, wow. But when he discovered America, there were, 60, 70 million people who lived here already for thousands of years, who knew how to manage things like forests, wildfires and shit.
There was a story that I once heard. I haven't read it myself or anything like that, but I do believe it. It was said that when it is that the Edomites came over here to the Western Hemisphere, the same Christopher Columbus, whose true name is Cristobal Colon, who is an Edomite, when they came over here to the West, our people greeted them because that's the nature of our people, and they had been so separated for so long. But it was said that our people would walk around with all kinds of incense and sweet smelling things when they were around these Edomites, these so-called white people, because of the stench that they possessed. But I've also heard as well that, yes, over here in the West, that apparently there were whole systems going on. The lies that we were told that when the Edomites came over here, the so-called white people came over here to the west and found what was the northern kingdom Israelites, we're always taught that our people were savages and walking around naked or half naked, with the women with their cleavage, not cleavage, literally the breasts hanging out and all kinds of things, right? The lies perpetuated by Esau Edom. But knowing our people and what we've heard, our people were doing well, had certain water systems in place and had a whole system in place that was functioning well and everything. And of course, Esau came over and obliterated it all, right? And then committed mass genocide upon our people. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So for everything that they've done to us, for all of these lifetimes during their rulership, every single time they have laid hands upon us, done anything to us, the Edomites, but not only the Edomites, these other nations, they will be feeling the wrath of Yahweh Shemishai, as is written, so it shall be done. And the Edomites are doing this unto us to this very same day, en masse. And they're getting ready to do their last big stand of sorts during the time of Jacob's trouble, a time like never before upon us as a nation. So they're going to be adding very greatly onto that bill that they will have to pay. And that bill is that, yes, they're going into captivity, and as it says in Revelation 13 verse 10, it shall happen. But that bill that they'll have to pay is the curses from Yahweh Shemishai. And the curses are very terrible. We're living under the curses right now, us the Israelites, and they're not pleasant at all, I'm telling you. They're terrible. And for you Edomites, you're going to be feeling it, man. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, and the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So there it is once again. You heathen are going to be feeling the curses that we are suffering under right now. And you can see the state of our people. Our people are at the absolute bottom. Our people don't have anything, even though they think they have something. You know what I'm saying? Our people lost our heritage, the names of our power, and all of these things. And the Lord has been merciful unto us and has risen us up once again, a specific remnant, to believe and to receive the names of Yahweh and Yahushai once again. And that has brought us back to everything, because without knowing our power, we're through. So, you Edomites, man, get ready to feel it.
And we slaughtered all of them, and we slaughtered all the buffalo. And this country was founded on women were property and were not permitted to participate in our constitutional republic. And how many of our founding fathers owned slaves? Thomas Jefferson owned the mother of several of his children, who he also owned because they were slaves.
Well, regarding that situation, Thomas Jefferson was, an Edomite, most likely an Edomite, I'm sure. And the thing about that is that he was popping the slaves, which were Israelite women, and he was having children with them, and he kept them as slaves. But what he was actually doing was that, yes, that they were his children, but it goes a little, it's more spiritual than that, because him as a man having children with a woman, that child is of his nation. Because people in this world would say, oh, well, then his children are half black and half white. No, that's not real. That doesn't exist. You belong to one nation, okay? And so you are what your father is. So if your father is a so-called white man, which is an Edomite, then no matter what the mother looks like, and no matter what the child comes out looking like, that child will be an Edomite. So during the captivity, our captivity, and Esau's rulership, Esau was actually putting his own people, which were his own children, into slavery because they were his children. Those were Edomites too. Those were so-called white children, no matter what they looked like. You know, that goes to show you how terrible the Edomites are, because even in their own rulership, they affect their own people very negatively. Look at what's going on in the world right now. The Edomites are constantly in an uproar. They're upset, they're depressed, they're committing suicide. All kinds of things, man. But that's also a sign of their kingdom coming to an end, because they were flourishing at a certain point in time. That's why many of them speak about bringing the old times back, when they were flourishing and they were living happily. But now they're constantly upset, they're constantly hurt, and you know, that's just what it is. You know, your kingdom is falling. And in Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21, it says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, you so-called white people, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked." So the curses are going to be passed on to you. And it says to rejoice and be glad, because you're in your rulership. Even though your ruling class will affect you negatively. And by the way, the uproars of the people around the world and the protests and everything, I saw that there are recent protests in like Serbia and recent protests in Turkey. And those are Edomite dominated, Edomite led countries. You know, it's a sign of the end when you see that there are uproars of the people around the world. So your kingdom really and truly is coming to an end, because we're in fact seeing all of the signs that Yahweh Shemeshai told us that we would see. And so you should just be living it up while you're in your kingdom, because it's your kingdom, you so-called white people. Because what is to come is the kingdom of the Israelites, and you're going straight into captivity. And then after the captivity of 1,000 years, Obadiah verse 18 speaks about the judgment for the nation of Edom. "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." And that is what is on the horizon for you Edomites. It's going to be a very terrible time to be an Edomite in the kingdom of the Israelites. But it is what it is, you know? And the scriptures say, in Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." So it goes back to a wicked kingdom can never stand. The triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Things just are not set the way for the wicked to be ruling forever, perpetually. Yahweh Shemeshai is righteous only, and the wicked do not maintain the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemeshai. So, you know, it's always had a time where it would expire. And Esau got his kingdom. He acquired it by unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. He used the blessing of his sword, and he used his nature of great deception to deceive the world and to deceive the people, to elevate himself all the way to the top. But it's all coming to an end. And the truth has been declared by way of Yahweh Shemeshai, by way of his holy prophets. And as you can see with what's going on with current events all around the world, things are heating up every single day. And your kingdom is coming to an end, Esau. In the book of Amos, chapter 3, Salakia, not Amos 3, but Amos 1 and 11. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, you so-called white people, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Bozrah, which that's a representation of the Edomites. So your judgment is coming, man, and it's going to be not a very pleasant thing for you. And the first thing that's going to happen is that Yahushua is going to put all of you Edomites, starting with the ruling class of the Edomites, straight into captivity. And then you're going to be our slaves. As it says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, I think, it says that the stranger shall build thy walls. So you will be building up the kingdom of Yahweh Shemishai, just how the Israelites built up your kingdom. Okay? So at that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashir Mikal Kodesh, Shalom.